Hello. Thought I'd just do a little video just to show a few trades that I did today, and I haven't done a video for quite a while. I think it's over a month. I'm not too sure. Right, just get straight down to it. Right, I'm just looking at EURUSD. I made a few trades today. They were all calls, apart from the odd one, but I'll show you that in a second. Yeah, basically what's happened with EURUSD over the last few days is there was this blow off the top, which was sort of near 1.4. Just show you on the daily. Just here. Ooh. It's blow off top, which is almost well, it was basically a fake out, but there was news around about here. I wasn't actually trading or watching the charts at that time, so I'm not exactly sure what the news was or anything like that, but it doesn't look good. But I'm sort of guessing that it was a combination of bad news for the euro, even positive news for the US dollar, plus a double top. So it looks like it's a combination of factors. I'm not too bothered about what exactly it is that caused it, but it does look like it was a combination rather than just news, because it never usually is just news for the most part. Right, yeah, so on the daily I was looking at that over the last few days. Yeah, this is the daily chart. You can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that was 7 days ago that happened. I think it was a Friday, was it? Could have been. No, Thursday. So yeah, that's what's taken place over the last 7 days. So with that in mind, and because I had a look on the weekly, and on the weekly, still technically in an uptrend. I mean, you could look at not so much though. You just gotta. It's we're still in an uptrend there, basically. So I was just I'm not expecting it to, well, I wasn't expecting it to overly sell off or anything like that, even though that it was quite a strong sell off. So when I got up this morning and I saw that price had sort of lingered through Asia, sort of bounced around in this sort of area, still got sort of a downtrend there, and a leveling support level there, and then the price sort of lingered. It sort of slowly pushed up through Asia, and then it just couldn't get above sort of 3725 or something. Yeah, 3725. I just couldn't get above there, and then slowly it was again London Open. It was sort of trending down again. So yeah, they're sort of this, just it's just basically trending down, and then price sold off a little, and then bounced back up, and it still couldn't get above there. It was just hitting the EMAs, and then there was just a huge sell-off. So I wasn't actually awake when that happened, but that huge sell-off, I was obviously, because of what I said before about there being just too many red candles basically on the daily chart. I was just expecting a bounce up from somewhere. So what I did was, we'll just get rid of that. Did the usual thing of, and I do this every day. I just basically set up a Fibonacci extension from that. Whoops. from the Asia low to the Asia high, and then just waited for these levels. What I found though was that these levels didn't correlate very well with what was happening, because when price like sort of shot past this level, I started to think again about like where I'd placed my my fib extension, well, my fib lines. So I actually started setting up another fib extension just to see if that correlated with what was happening. So I did from this sort of like short-term low to this short-term high, and the level sort of aligned again in a similar sort of way. So I changed that to here, was it? Yeah, and that seemed to make a bit more sense because you got this bounce here. So I used that as the basis for what I was doing later. What I was looking for later, sorry. What I mean there was like there was this sort of bounce off this fib level. I've said like previously in other videos that with drawing fib lines, there's usually like one way of doing like the main sort of fib lines for the day, the fib extensions, but the odd day like today they don't line up. So what could be the case is like the big hedge funds have I'm completely guessing here, but the big hedge funds have just like set their fib extensions at in slightly different ways because of like where they've bought or sold the currency. I could just be making that up, but that's what I found. So what I did then was like waited for this, because I saw this this fib extension was touched there, and then we had the 423.6 sort of like here, so I was waiting for the price to sort of come round about here, and when it came down to this level there was a lot of sort of like buying up from that and sort of bouncing off it, so which sort of all these wicks like just show that price was going to reluctantly go down if it was going to go down. And I honestly thought, well, what usually happens is that it means if there's loads of wicks, it just means that the price isn't going to go down from there and you should get a reversal. So what I was doing was just waiting, literally just waiting for this MACD to cross, and you can see like the MACD crossed at this point, so any like pullbacks here, I just bought calls with them. There's a few reasons for that as well. It wasn't just simply a case of like there's all these wicks. There was a number of factors, and I always say like when you're trading, you're taking positions, you need to ensure that you've got the odds in your favour, because it's essentially gambling. You could argue that it's not, but it is, especially like binary options. So the areas that was sort of that I was paying attention to, just a second, have I got this? So first of all, we've got the 423.6 Fibonacci extension level from that, because that is not a sort of typical Fibonacci extension, i.e. it's not usually the way it's set up, because I've taken like the sort of short term low there and the high from Asia. It should be the low from Asia and the high from Asia, and that's usually where things lie. But if it doesn't, then you get these sort of like temporary setups, temporary fib extensions. But because of that, not as many people will be looking at those fib extensions, so they're not to be as trusted as much. So because of that, you need to, as I say, like get all the odds in your favour. So like get a few reasons why you're going to enter a number of trades. Well, enter a trade, it should be.